Hi everyone, today is the 27th of May, and as always, we're going to tell the pain story. This pain story had changed a lot of people's life and shed light into what something happened to our life and how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So, are you ready? Let's get started. What is this? It's a pen. What do we use a pen for? To write. Now there is a dog inside the room. I'm going to wave this in front of the dog. What does the dog do? The dog probably will sniff, lick at you this, right? Does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So for the dog, this one is not a pen, but for the human, this one is a pen. So who is correct, the dog or the human? The answer is both are correct. For the dog, this one is a chewing toy, when for the human, this one is a pen to write. The dog is correct in the dog world, and the human is also correct in the human world. So that is our first lesson. Both are correct. Now, let's imagine that there is a table in front of me, so I'm going to put this thing on the table. And then both the dog and I will walk out the room. So inside the room, there'll be no human, no dog. What does this thing become then? It is still a pen or chewing toy, or becomes almost nothing, and the ancient wisdom count this one as the emptiness. The emptiness is actually a very magical definition. As we understand the emptiness, we'd be able to achieve anything in our life. Just like Ishimi Gorosh applied the emptiness into his business and was able to build a business with a revenue of $250 million a year. He also able to help several refugees. So what is the emptiness? Why is that so magical? Let's go back to your pen story, okay? Let's think it currently on the table when there's no human, no doubt, or nothing to interact with. We come back to choose and record the emptiness. But because it's also have, but then as soon as I go back into the room and I look at this becomes a pen. When the dog comes back to the room and the dog look at this becomes a chewing toy. And when both the dog and I come back to the room at the very same time, and we both look at this at the very same time, what does this thing become then? It becomes two things, a pen for me and a chewing toy for the dog. So a single thing where it doesn't interact with anything. It comes back to choose and recall the emptiness. So whether we are here, each and every one of us, whether we are human, animal, plant, or object, we always possess the emptiness, which is what we truly are when we don't interact with anyone. But then on the other hand, in reality, we always interact with someone or something, right? So we always have that potential to become anything or anyone, depending on who or what is looking at us at that very moment and what we are to them. So that is our second lesson, along with the emptiness we all have this potential. Now I see this as a pen. So does this pen coming from me or does this pen coming from the thing itself? This pen is actually coming from me. Why am I so certain? Because if this thing is the pen itself and the dog or anything in this entire universe, we'll have to see it for what it is, which is the pen. But does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So this pen is actually coming from me. This pen is actually coming from right, and within is actually coming from our mind. So that is our third lesson. Everything is actually coming from our mind. Now we all agree that this pen is coming from my mind, right? So I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to believe this one become a diamond, okay? So please pray with me. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Open my eyes. It's still a pen. So what in my mind that forced me to see this as a pen but not a diamond? There was it inside our mind that the ancient wisdom calls karma. When we see something, the seed inside our mind will open up and cover this and made us see it for what had been planted early into our mind. So who planted those seed into our mind then? Only you can plant the seed into your mind, and only I can plant the seed into my mind. How can we do it? We do it by three ways: by our words, by our actions, by our thoughts, especially to other people. So for instance, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to say that I have a pen. Would you like to have this pen? And when my friend say yes, please, I'd be so happy to give this to my friend with the hope that I can help my friend. So when I do this, this palm open up and both me and my friend will see it and it start living back in my mind. A couple days later, when I see this, I recognize this one as a pen, which means that the seed of the pen has already been planted into my mind. And now I probably opened up and covered this and made it see it for what had been planted already into our mind. And this is how a pen become a pen, or anything surround us become what and who they are to us. In the pain story, there are several meaningful lessons. Today we went over 4 different lessons. The first lesson is both corrupt. So we learn to respect each other's opinion. We learn to respect each other's choices, and we learn to listen to each other with a compassionate heart. And I think this is a very useful lesson. But then very difficult one to actually process and actually apply that into our daily life, especially with the one who, the one we think that they have to listen to us, just like children or some or our subordinate. But then even with our like supervisor or someone above us, or even our friend, is also very difficult to do that, to be able to take a step back, to listen to them, to understand where and their perspective, and then respect it. And one of the tip that I have been practicing is that, it's not just very successfully, but then I always pause for trying to take a step back, by just taking a very, very small moment, very short moment of, not reacting anything, just kind of, okay, I know that I'm angry, I know that I'm not happy. And then I'm just, I try to look into that and see, okay, so what is this? Where is that coming from? And how do they get this opinion? What are their approach? And how is that really make sense to me, or it doesn't make sense to me at all? And that is how I'll be able to try to understand other people. And I know that sometimes, understanding their perspective doesn't mean that you agree with them, but at least when you know that they are coming from, where they are coming from, and where the objection come from, whether it's actually coming from me or is that coming from the real problem, then I'll be able to, to process and digest it, and divert my reaction into a better way. So that's what I'm still learning and still trying to work on that. The second lesson is along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. So trust your potential, trust the potential of everyone and everything around you, and trust the potential of whatever happened to you. And I think it's also very important for you to actually know what or who you truly are, or they truly are, when they don't interact with someone. And then from that, we'll be able to see what are the potential, whatever it is, whatever the situation is. And I think this is also a very important lesson, because a lot of time, we're looking things through our lenses, right? So a single thing is that, a single thing can become different things to us. And for me, linking from lesson number 1 and lesson number 2 is that, I always, not always, but then if possible, I try to look into whatever happened or whoever they are, and then think, okay, what is this truly is, how much of this is what it truly is, and the emptiness, what it truly is, and how much of that is what I look at them, which is the potential of them in me, right? How I look at them. So, and then how the reaction coming from, whether it's coming from what it truly is, which is the emptiness, and then or it coming from myself, my perspective, their potential in me. And most of the time, it's actually coming from what I look at them, the potential that I look at them, and I react it that way. So, and when I was able to tell you this, another lesson coming to me that I often share with you previously, but recently I have been sharing, is that whatever happened to me at this moment is the very best thing that can happen to me at this very moment. I think it's a very, very good lesson, very good code to tell you, to tell ourselves, and so that we'll be able to take a step back to think about the possible situation, the solution, the potential of what it is. And the third thing is everything is actually coming from the seed inside our mind. So we'll be 100% responsible to whatever happened to us. We don't blame anyone, because in the end, we are the only one who can plant the seed into our mind. And I think this is also a critical lesson for us to learn, because it's very easy to blame other people, especially when things doesn't go the way that we want it to be. It's easy to blame the situation. It's easy to blame the other people for what it happened. But if think about it, think about it. If we want to change the situation into the way that we want it to be, then whether you want to take charge of that, or would you like to give that driving wheel to other people. By blaming other people, you actually give them, you give them the authority to shape your life, to shape whatever that happening to you at the very moment. But by taking responsibility to whatever happened, that is also is you who can change the situation and get it into a better direction, and you are fully capable of doing that. So the other way of looking at the at the lesson number 3 is that we are the one who create our life. We are the one who taking charge of our life. So we are capable. And then whatever how we want our life to turn out, we can change it. And I think that is also a very important lesson for us to look at. And last but not least is how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So first, we have to know what we truly want in our dream life, right? But knowing that is not enough. You actually have to work on that. So what do I mean by that? If you want to have prosperity, then we start planting the prosperity seed using our word or action, our thoughts to other people, helping them to be more prosperous. If we want to have, a wisdom, then we use our word or action, our thoughts with other people, helping them to get wiser. And just like that, whatever that we want, making sure that we use our word or action, our thoughts with other people, helping them to get that very same seed. And that is one of the best way for us to plant the seed into our mind. And for that seed to, firmly planted, and one of these days gonna sprout up into a tree or plant or whatever it is, and then we're gonna be able to harvest the good result from that. So remember, the key to that is that you have to know what you truly want in your dream life. And then the second part is we start working on that through our word or action or thoughts with other people. Okay. And the lesson that I'd like to share with you all today is that I'm I think that normally when I work at home, it's actually quite difficult for me to follow routine. Like I have my own routine at home, so putting this into the routine at home sometimes can be difficult and challenging. Like you can see whatever I work at home, normally my pen storytelling will be at the very end of the night and very end of the day, and sometimes I just get too lazy. So it's good to have a routine, I believe. Once you get into that routine, you'll be able to get done and get the good thing done. It's also good to know that whatever thing that you need to do in early in the day need to get done by this day, making sure that you get that and get that done. The shorter, maybe just divided the task, the important one, the urgent one, and then how short it is, right? If it's only take you a couple minutes, get that done first, get that out of your mind, and give you a sense of accomplishment. And that's why I keep trying to tell myself, there's a lot of lesson, it's going to be good for your life, but how be able to do that to apply that into your life is another story. So, but then, we all in the journey, right? We all, working on our journey of, improving ourselves, developing ourselves, get ourselves growing into a better self. So, I think it's normal as long as we know and we work into that direction. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me today. Thank you, Anil, for accompanying me in the 3,000-day journey. And if by me sharing with you the pen story of my lesson is something good, I would like to dedicate that to my dearest family, to my friends, to my co-workers, to my neighbors, or to any living things in this world or any other world with love, wisdom, and gratitude. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye-bye.